So now I have my buck converter. I'm going to put that down inside the case. And this case is made so that we can just kind of push it down in and it stays kind of with static. But before I do that, I guess I should show you what we're doing. Okay, if we look on the board right here, it says in. So that's going to be our power from our power supply in. Now, there's little holes in the side of the case over here that are intended to help these parts cool. So I've installed my box backwards. So I'm going to loosen that, spin it 180 and put it back on, and then it'll be able to position properly. That also puts the screen out here near the edge where it's easy to read our voltage. Puts these hot components against our cooling fins and allows those to cool. So that's what we're going to do next. I've taken my buck converter box off the rail where it was backwards. I wanted to show you this. So you're going to take these little rail nuts that go down inside the slots, and I kind of like to point them both forward because that's how they got to go in. And I'll put that down, kind of wiggle it until they go onto the rail. Then we'll go ahead and tighten those bolts. And as we do that, the nut will turn inside the rail and lock it onto the rail. So we want to snug them both down. You don't want to bust it through the bottom of the box though. So just get it snug and that'll be good enough. Then we can take our buck converter and we're going to make sure that the in, okay, I don't know if you can see that, in is facing us, and we'll set that down in the box and we'll get ready to assemble at least this end of it. When we look at this on the inside, we have a negative side and a positive side, and right here on the box we have the negative side, and that corresponds with the negative post on our buck converter. So we'll go ahead and set that in there. We just need to remember to connect our black wire to that right one. When I had it around backwards it was on the left, but now that it's oriented properly we need it on the right. So then I'll take the little screwdriver inside my kit. Sorry, might have missed you there. And we're going to put that down in the top of the little blue connector and unscrew that to loosen it. And we'll unscrew that a ways up. I'd probably tell it's about flush with the top of the box, or the top of the blue connector. We'll do that on both of them. Alright, then we'll take our black one, which is our negative one, and that one's going to go in the right side, so it'll probably be easier to put the red one in first. So turns out that you don't solder the ends of the other end of our Y splitter, because the connection they give you on the buck converter is for a pretty small wire. So you twist it together about twice, and then with your fingernail kind of flatten the end of it, and then you go ahead and insert it in and tighten the screw up here at the top until it holds the wire in place. Then you want to double check to make sure there's no little wire strands sticking off to the side that's going to touch our negative side. And then when we put the negative side in, we want to make sure there's no little strands that are going over touching the red side. So if I take my little screwdriver, and of course all this is unplugged still, and just move those little strands over if there are any. You want to try to get as few strands coming off that as possible. And then we just move those over so there's nothing touching in the middle. And you see how our wire kind of routes around here, goes into our clip, it comes over here, goes into that clip, and then through the other clips and over here to where our Y splits. At this point we have wired our buck converter in place, but we need to adjust it for the right voltage. Now these wires typically live over here, so I'm going to move them back, and kind of try to move those out of the way.